Hello guys, this is Luchi Ray back from the dead. Sorry that I haven't been as available, but one of my friends did start excuse me, one of my friends did start playing a Marauder last night. So I thought I would give you guys a rundown of how to war and how to gladiator. A little side a little side thing. And apologize if I don't use all my technical terms as well as I should. But for the sake of this stream, I'm just going to refer to the warrior as a warrior. Um, because you start off as a marauder, get it to level 30, and then you get a gladiator and push it to 15, and you get a warrior. Gladiator to 30 with a conjurer to 50 becomes paladin. So gladiator is gladiator and paladin because I don't actually have a paladin, and uh, I'm just going to use war for the sake of this because I'm going to see war on everything and I'm going to use war. So if you're not a warrior yet, I'm sorry, but this is for you. um, I'm going to go over how Marauder works and how Gladiator works and how Warrior works. To start, um, if you are new to tanking, tanking is similar to DPS. You're supposed to attack the enemies. You're not a healer, but you are supposed to maintain hate of all the enemies at all times. And if somebody accidentally on purpose pulls hate from you, you need to make sure that you get hate back so you're not causing problems for the whole party. Tanks on here work off of TP, similar to the DPS classes. You only ever get 1,000 TP, doesn't matter what level you are, so you really have to be aware of how you're using your abilities and being careful. Usually it's not a huge problem unless you're in lower dungeons where you're having to spam uh, more higher costing skills because you're having to compensate for um, an imbalance of eye level or skill level. But I'll get to that in a minute. I'm just going to go over the abilities really quick. You've got Heavy Swing, Foresight, Skull Sunder, Fracture, Bloodbath, Brutal Swing, Overpower, Tomahawk, Maim, Berserk, Mercy Stroke, Butcher Block, Thrill of Battle, your Storm's Path, Home Gang Vengeance, and Storm's Eye. As your job, you gain Defiance, Inner Beast, Unchained, Steel Cyclone, Infuriate, and Deliverance. Okay, so your excuse me. So your general abilities, these are these down here, and I enlarge them so you can see them. Um, if you're lower, you may not have all these, but basically anything that gives you enmity, use those to the fullest of your ability, whatever you have up to this point, to ensure that you do hold hate, but don't use big draining abilities unless you need to. Um, Emergency moves would be Provoke and Tomahawk, although Tomahawk's a little bit more preemptive. Flash and Overpower are going to be your biggest fillers for um, reestablishing hate as you're working through your rotations. So basically, this is your 1, 2, 3. Uh, this Heavy Swing, Skull Sunder, and Butcher's Block. So if I hit this Ice Sprite, you'll notice it hit for 192, then 270, and then 360. So using those three together is your best bet. Otherwise, you're just going to be doing um, that 154 or whatever the first attack was, because they all have the same potency. They're only stronger if you use them in a combo. They don't give you any extra um, uh, debuffs to the enemy or anything like that. So just use them in a row. Um, and then, like I said, your fillers are going to be Overpower and Flash. And for the record, you will be picking up Flash and Provoke from Gladiator. You need to do that. Provoke is very important for endgame. oh shit moments and tank swapping, you need provoke. That's a level 22 gladiator, so you'll be going past the 15 that you need to get warrior, but please get provoke. Flash is a level 8 gladiator ability, so at that you get on early on, but make sure you add it to your warrior hotbar because you have overpower and it deals 120 potency damage to enemies. But flash, while it doesn't deliver damage to the enemies, it's a circular AoE instead of a triangular AoE, and it's based off of MP instead of TP. So I can grab things' attention without attacking it, and I'm sucking my MP dry instead of, getting my TP. But as you can see, overpower is more of a triangular attack, and flash goes all the way around. So it's got a very big area to grab from, and it's very good to rotate those. Overpowered's great though because it does do attack damage. Just keep in mind that the potency is only 120. It's lower than your basic attack. As you can see, it only took 156 damage. So it's not a lot compared to the other stuff I was doing. Now, as far as the other half of your rotation goes, there's your maim and your eyes, or your storms. And this is how they work. I don't want to mess up that person's whatever they're doing. I think they're doing something for a quest. Excuse me. Okay, so in case I didn't say this already, your heavy swing, your skull sunder, your butcher's block, your overpower, your flash, your provoke, and your tomahawk all build hate. Your maim rotation will not, but it grants you some other abilities. Here we go. This is a good one to start with if there's a lot of enemies or if you're on a boss, because you're going to hit heavy swing, and then instead of going through your 2-3, you're going to come over to maim, and then you're going to hit one of your storms. And what happens with those is your heavy swing, deals its attack, and then maim gives you a 20% damage increase. And then your storms, one of them, the storm's path that you get at 38, soaks up 50% of the damage you're dealing as HP, and also lowers their attacks. The storm's eye you get at 50, and it lowers their slashing resistance and their ability to get heals. So the storm's eye you won't use as much unless you're in a very special situation. I like using those when I have a ninja or a job quest or story quest where there's something that self heals, or not self heals, has a healer in it. So basically, you're going to be going heavy swing, skull sunder, and butcher's block over and over and over again, and flashing and overpowering as needed. The other important thing you need to pay attention to is once you hit 30, you're going to get Defiance. Keep Defiance on all the time. It increases your HP by 25%, but it does lower your it does lower your damage by 25%, but it increases your enmity. So you're always going to have a little bit more of an established hate with the enemies. And it also allows you to get stacks of wrath. As you can see, I'm building them up. You might have noticed already. I'm building them up as I go. Any of your basic abilities in your rotations will grant you a stack of wrath. Excuse me, I'm so sorry. When you start out, I think you only go up to 2 or 3 stacks of wrath. But your wrath basically increases your attacks and whatnot. When you finally get the ability to have 5 stacks though, which is around 35. You're going to gain something called Inner Beast. And Inner Beast is amazing because instead of just doing like, oh, 50% of the damage you're dealing is turned into HP, it's 100%. So if I hit the enemy for 300 damage, I get 300 HP back as long as it lasts. It only lasts for a few seconds, but it's worth it, especially in situations where you've got a lot of enemies on you. When you get a little bit higher up, you get, yeah, this is at level 50. You get Infuriate, and it automatically grants you a full stack of Wrath. So it's really helpful if you want to come in and you're getting ready to pull something, you can just hit Infuriate, and then I like to do Steel Cyclone, and there we go. And Steel Cyclone is an AoE. It attacks all the enemies that are in that area, so obviously using it on one enemy is kind of silly, but okay, so you've got your standard rotation here and your fillers, and then you've got your secondary rotation that keeps your, you're not using it every time, but it is important to keep these up, especially your Maim and your Storm path. And you're also going to want to keep these up as much as you can as soon as they're available. So Infuriate if you have it. If not, just build up your stacks, which is another reason why it's important not to flash and overpower too much, because they do not gain you Wrath. These are just filler. Do not overuse them. So as you gain your stacks of Wrath, you can come up here and hit Inner Beast to heal yourself, or hit Unchained, or hit Steel Cyclone. Steel Cyclone is your big AoE. It's 200 potency, so it's as strong as your Skull Sunder, but it's an AoE. It's twice as strong as Overpower. So I like to pull with Steel Cyclone because I'm weird. You can do that, or Unchained is nice. The recast on it is 2 minutes. So if you have that available, that's usually your best. If it's not on cooldown, when I say I like to pull with this, it's when this isn't available. Because this is you can use Steel Cyclone and Inner Beast as often as you want, because they are only bound by your stacks of Wrath and your global cooldown. Unchained actually has a recast timer on it. So for instance, I sit here and do this, I can't use it again for 2 minutes. But what it does, it only lasts 16 seconds. But it basically, as you can see, he died a lot faster that time. What it does is, and it's the reason why it's the same symbol as your Defiance, is it basically, I remember how you lost 25% damage because you have Defiance on, so you can gain enmity and health. Unchained makes up for that. It gives you that back. So make sure you pop that as soon as you can, especially if you're in a situation where you really want to smash something in the face like a boss. Otherwise, use your Inner Beast to heal yourself in situations where you're getting hurt a lot, or the healer's really bad. Or use your Steel Cyclone if you just want to have a little bit of fun and kill all the things. I wasn't close enough. It works best when you've got like a lot of enemies on you all at once. But as you can see, that one doesn't have a tick going on, because if I regained all my stacks of Wrath again, I would be able to use that again. Because generally it doesn't take 2 minutes to get another stack of another full stack of Wrath. I'm kind of doing bad because there's not a lot of. Oh, here we go. There we go. Usually you either gain Infuriate's 1 minute. So if you haven't gained your stacks of Wrath in 1 minute, which is kind of sad, but it depends on the enemies you're dealing with. Obviously these are all spread out. You can hit that if you haven't gained it manually by yourself. I'm having a hard time keeping it up. All right, so standard rotation, main rotation, your fillers, and these are all your buffs up here. These are amazing. Foresight is it increases your defense by 20. Bloodbath is 25% of the damage you're dealing as HP. Thrill of Battle increases your maximum HP by 20% and restores the amount increased. And I love Vengeance. That's kind of one of those situations where Bloodbath, Vengeance, and Inner Beast are your I need HP now, and the healer is not able to keep up with me. Or if you're doing soloing, because it doesn't just guard you, it actually restores your HP. So Bloodbath converts 25%, and Vengeance reduces the damage taken by 30% with delivers. Oh, whoa, whoa. I take that back. Bloodbath and Inner Beast are your I need health right now. Please restore it. But I do love Vengeance because it reduces the damage you're taking by 30%. And it also attacks. It's only 50% or 50 potency. But if there's a big gang of enemies on you, it gives you that extra 30% buff, and it actually attacks them every time they hit you. Um, so it's great. Also, you'll want to use your Berserk whenever it's available. I It increases your attack by 50%. It's like Maim, because Maim is 20. Berserk is 50. The only problem with Berserk, one reason it's on my top hotbar and not down here with these, is because uh, after it wears off, you have 5 seconds after that where it it gives you a debuff because you basically went crazy. It's called Berserk for a reason. You went crazy, and now you're pacified. So this is what it looks like. I hit Berserk. I'm gonna flash this because they're ninja. They've been here for a while, so I'm gonna try to use my overpower and take it off them. And my flash. It's really hard to do it because she's not my party. It's even with provoke. And he fully resisted provoke. But see, now look at that. Did you see how those grayed out? No, don't reset the fate, lady. I'm taking hate. Come on, sheepy. There we go. See, use Tomahawk enough and you'll get hate back, but as you can see, it kind of hurt my TP. Okay, but I don't know if you guys saw it, but on the Berserk, basically any skill that requires TP is gone. All your weapon skills are gone. So you can't establish hate or do your main rotation while pacified is on. And pacified lasts, I want to say like 15 seconds. I forget. I don't even know if it's that much. That's where if your healer has Asuna or leeches, or the other one that Astrologian has, they can pull it off of you so you can keep attacking. But if they don't, that's where you can use flash, so you can at least, kind of make sure you stay on top of your aggro pool. And that's your dot. Oh, and this is your stun. Very important. Stun. If you have a boss that has a very large AoE, or you've got a lot of enemies that are on you, there's a couple dungeons like Corrin where you'll have a lot of enemies that don't have AoEs, but then you'll have that one that does. Focus on the one that has the AoE. Kill that one first. And while it's attacking you, because it's bad if you're, say these are your ranged DPS, these bushes. And you're sitting here with this, and it's got an AoE coming out this way. If you move back, not only is it going to hit you, it's going to hit them as well. And generally, you will want to stand in the opposite direction. Like if these are your ranged, you're going to want to stand here so that it's just hitting you. But sometimes it's just not possible, or you forget, or you get lazy. But that, or if you have a melee, they have to be right up in there with you. They don't have a choice. So always go for the ones with the large AoEs first. Um, So if you're attacking it, you don't want to move away because not only does it put more people in danger, it can also confuse the healer because it's like, where did they go? And if you have anybody that has positionals, like the monk or the dragoon has some positionals, and the ninja even has some positionals, you need to make sure you're standing still so it doesn't mess them up because they don't know where you're going to move. Unless you guys have really good chemistry and they kind of know which way you would go. But if you're with randoms, it's not going to work out very well. So you need to stand there and take take stuff. If you need to do a quick dodge, because some AoEs are not stunnable, you can stand here and just like quick move back here real quick and then move back when the AoE disappears. Because while they're doing that AoE, they stand still until it goes off. So while it's attacking you, you can quickly, okay, hurry up and do your thing. All right, I'm good. So there's that, but this is what stun looks like. Bam. Keep in mind and see how he's not going to move for about 5 seconds. It's also good if you have, this is like a side note. I've used it before in situations where I was having a horrible time holding hate because like everybody was like level 60 and I was level 30. Um, what I would do is, if everybody in a perfect world, if everybody's attacking the same enemy and there's like that one that is following somebody around, you can sit there and run after, we're all attacking number one, but number two is attacking the healer. You can run up to that one, flash it, stun it, and leave it alone. And go back to the other one, kill it, and then, eventually go back and hit the other thing. But again, try to stay on your regular rotation as much as you can. Pop Berserk to get that extra to get the extra attack power, pop your maim to get extra attack power, and do Storm's Path to help keep your HP up. Use your buffs as you need them. And Convalescence is something that I picked up from, I forgot to go over this one. Convalescence is something that I picked up from Gladiator. I like it. Don't use it unless the healer's actually healing you. Otherwise, you're wasting your time because it only lasts 20 seconds. It increases the HP recovery from healing by 20%. So it's not a shield and it's not a self heal. So don't use it unless the healer's actually healing you because it boosts their heals basically on you. I used to use it a lot because I didn't read the info thoroughly. And that's your best bet on this because I know I've went over some of this pretty fast, and some of it I may have forgotten or whatever, and I don't want to confuse anybody. So your best bet is to really go over all of your skills and see what they actually do. But basically, rotation, fillers, oh my god, hurry up and stun it. Your oh my god, I'm losing hate, and then your main rotation to keep your attack up, soak up damage. Got your dot, your random dot, and then this is your defiance boosters. The last thing I'm going to go over is home gang. You won't use this very often. The situations where you're taking way too much damage and you think you're going to die for whatever reason, use it. It doesn't work on every single enemy. Like some bosses it will not work, some bosses it will. If you use it, it only lasts 6 seconds. But it is your 911 as a tank. What it does is it pulls a target to you. You have to be pretty close to it already. But it binds it to you. It can't move, but you can't move either. Like there we go. As you can see, it didn't let me move right away. But what it does is most attacks cannot reduce your AP to HP to less than 1%. So if it's one of those moments where the boss is at like 3%, the healer died, and you're sitting at like 25 HP, all your buffs are on cooldown, you know, you don't have any self heals, you already used a potion. Don't be afraid to use your tank limit break. It makes you invincible for however long it lasts. I don't recall. I think it's 5 seconds as well. Um, and then pop your home gang because it's going to make you invincible for those 6 seconds. Well, not invincible really, but you know what I mean. You cannot die um, until then because a lot of times it will at least get you to where you can clear the boss. The bad thing is if you don't clear it before that wears off, well, you've dropped to 1 HP and or whatever the boss has dropped you at, and then you're back to what you were. You're vulnerable and you're going to die if nobody healed you. So it's definitely a 911. It's not something you use all the time. If you try using it on regular mobs, it can get kind of annoying because you can't move. Um, so I would suggest do not use it. It doesn't increase your attack or anything like that. So only use it in situations where I think I'm going to die and we're almost done. Um, so that's pretty much it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do a guild test real quick. Um, just so you guys can kind of see what it's all about. Because I know I went over a lot, and I know it seems like a lot because you know you've got your buffs, you've got your regular rotation, you've got your main rotation, and then you've got your stuff that you get after 30. But the thing is, like right now I'm synced. I'm not gonna have anything, but yeah, I'm not even gonna get any abilities from Defiance other than my Wrath stacks, which increases your attacks. Um, until you decide to use the Wrath for one of these abilities. But like I said, by the time you get that far, you're going to be comfortable enough with your job that that's not going to even be a thing. You can think of these as buffs, which is why they're up here. Okay, so this is a tricky one. So pull with Tomahawk. Some people pull with Flash, but I like to actually get an attack in there. Let's see how there's that AoE. You just dodge. Try to stun it if you can in case somebody's there. It's just a good habit to have. See, I'm just going through my regular rotation. I need to pop my Berserk. Here, I tell you guys to use your Berserk. Go ahead and throw a dot. I usually put those hand in hand. Then go ahead and get my Maim up. See, I don't even have these. So see, that's I know it's a lot of information. Go ahead and overpower to grab those things. And flash because my Berserk put Pacify on me. You can also use Provoke when you're pacified. Try to dodge the AoEs. I'll run over here and flash these guys. Flash again. We are not killing these guys fast enough. On this guild test, you don't want him to get in the blue flame. Lots of overpowering going on because there are guys everywhere. Again, this is where you want to rotate your flash and your overpower. See, I've used flash so much now that I'm out of MP, but I still have like half of my... Oh, I see what they're doing. They're just trying to burn the boss. I was wondering why none of the ads were dying. That's really hard on a tank if you don't want people to die. There we go. Alright, we still gotta kill the Void Hounds. That's one reason I don't like to burn this boss, but it works because then, you know, I'm not gonna bring more out. See, I'm almost out of... I'm almost out. But that's why it's nice when you do have your Infuriate and your stacks of Wrath, because then you can use Steel Cyclone for your AoE instead of just overpowering all the time. Sweet. As you can see, you know, things don't get as complicated until after 30. It's really not too bad. Give it to the healer because they kept us alive through all that craziness. Alrighty, and now I'm gonna go ahead and do a harder one. Really quick. I still gotta go over Gladiator too. I might do that as a separate one. I think I'll do that. This is the Marauder stream. Let's see. I'm gonna go ahead and just pick a harder one. Long live the Queen. I remember this one. Okay. This way you guys can kind of see this stuff. And like I said, don't be intimidated because you're basically, early on, all you're going to have is your basic rotation in main. You won't even have your storms. And when you get defiance, use it. You know, don't even worry about stacks of wrath until you have something to do things the wrath with, you know. Just do your rotation, keep your berserk and your fracture up and your maim, and, go through it. And the rest is just your fillers. Like I said, think of overpower and flash as your fillers. Tomahawk even. But flash and overpower are usually more effective if everything's right there by you. And this guild I'll say they already took hate. Because I hesitated. In this guildhests, we have to kill the candles and things. The bombs explode on their own, so it's kind of pointless to go after them. Oh yeah, and I forgot to say, Mercy Stroke is your, when the enemy is under 20%. See, I just run through here and hit with Tomahawk to pull, because all those things blow up anyway. Flash them to get all their attention, and overpower, and then go through my rotation. Uh-oh. Like I said, some of these I kind of forget about, but it's more of a pain in the... Oh, no. Sometimes it's more of a pain in the butt if your healer doesn't actually... Oh, no. Oh, good job, healer. Okay, time to use some buffs. If your healer doesn't assume you, it can be life-threatening. So, I wouldn't suggest using... See, I'm already losing hate because I couldn't attack anymore. It's definitely good to try to avoid berserk if your healer does not, if your healer does not take pacify off of you, because it's just going to hurt the party in the long run. It's worth it even if you're pacified because of the extra damage, but it's not worth it if you lose hate because you can't do your rotation, and there's a lot of enemies. So for this one, you just attack the bomb queen because the little guys are just gonna disappear anyway. Just run, healer, run. Run, healer, run. Normally I would go after them, but by the time I run to them and flash them, which is why it's good sometimes if you can reach them, just do a quick tomahawk. Let's see, I've got my inner beast up. So, because I don't have the infuriate where I could have done it instantly, but I saw that I had these ticking like, oh look, you can do these now, so pop whatever you have while you can. Beast up again. Gotta go ahead and dot it. Like I said, I'm pretty bad about dotting. They really don't do that much damage in the long run. If it's something that's going to die quickly, it's not worth doing it because your regular rotation will out DPS your fracture. But if it's a big boss, it's an extra 20 or 30 seconds of attacking. So there you go. we go. Well done. I think I'll give it to Bard. All right, well, I think that's it for this for now. I don't want to overdo it. I probably already went way over my time, but this is how you war. And past this, I am not exactly sure. Once you get to 52, you get something called Deliverance. It's the opposite of Defiance. You 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 get 5% damage increase. You don't get that extra enmity buff, but it boosts your DPS. So it's great if you're an off tank or you're playing solo. But the only problem is you don't get your inner beast and some of these other things if you need the big heals or the big AoEs. But there are other abilities that come with that. I just don't have them yet because I'm not high enough. So um, that's something I can worry about later. But I think that's going to be it for now. If you guys have any more questions, let me know. I'm sorry if this was kind of lengthy or a little boring, but I just kind of wanted to give a general overview and actually let you guys see what it looked like from a warrior's perspective, and just instead of seeing a tank running around that's not you, because it looks a lot different. I would run a dungeon, but that might that would take a lot of time. So I do believe I have a dungeon where I did tank on my channel. Anyway, if you guys want to poke around and see if you can find it. If not, I may make a dungeon stream later. Um, but for now, that is it. If you guys have any questions, shoot me a message, leave a comment. You guys know where to find me on Mateus. It's Luchi Ray. So have a good afternoon, guys, and I will see you later.